Hello, can you see and hear me? I think I'm live, but I never know with these things if I'm doing it right or not. So drop a comment in the comments if I am indeed live and you can see me. I'm going to assume I am. Hey, right, excellent. Okay, thank you very much, Liz and Pokraj. So, happy Christmas. First and foremost, happy Christmas. If you are someone who celebrates Christmas, it is so where I am in the UK. It's 9:30 on Christmas morning. I have a slightly non-traditional Christmas day this year. My wife is working. She works in a home for people with dementia, so she's at work. Um, so it's just me and my daughter today. My daughter's still asleep, so she'll be getting up a bit later, and we're going to watch trashy movies all afternoon and eat lots of very unhealthy food. So we had our Christmas lunch yesterday, which I cooked, and so yeah, today we've got like random cook in the oven party food, which all looks very nice indeed. So let me tell you what we're going to do for anyone who hasn't joined one of these kind of reading sprint type things before. So the idea is that we'll have a bit of a chat. I can chat. You can, if anybody's got questions or anything like that they want to ask, feel free to drop them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. But the main focus of this will just be to read together. So every so often we will do like a 20-minute sprint where we read. I will put up a timer if I can remember how to do that on screen so people know how much time is left in the sprint. But the idea is we just sit and read, and then at the end of every 20 minutes we'll kind of regroup like this. You can like leave comments about what you're reading and things like that. And we'll then after a while we'll do another one, and I'll probably do this for like an hour and a half, something like that. We'll see how long we want to do it for. So let's go through some of the comments quickly and see who we've got. Oh, lots of people. So Mark, I don't know if Mark's on there because he left this comment a while ago, but he's going to be reading The Fungus by Harry Adam Wright. I can never remember if I've read The Fungus or not. I don't think I have. I used to have a copy of Carnosaur by Harry Adam Wright, which now goes for quite a lot of money, I think. And I definitely read that. I can't remember if I ever read The Fungus or not. One of those books I really want to read. I don't know if it's been republished or not recently. If it has, I'll have to grab a copy. Pokraj says, happy final week of the year. Yep, happy final week of the year to you too, Pokraj. I'm guessing it's sort of lunchtime where you are, isn't it? Sort of early afternoon. Britt Liz says, Merry Christmas to you too, Liz. Here's Pokraj again. So Pokraj confirming I can be heard. And Jinx, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Jinx Coffee saying I'm live and visible. We've got a Merry Christmas from Dan's Thrifted Books. Merry Christmas, Dan. Good evening from sweet Nigel B in Australia. So happy Christmas evening over there. Hope you've had a good day. We've got a Merry Christmas, everyone, from Cyprian Sabu. YouTube names always seem to be the most random handles. Everyone has like a random set of numbers at the end of them. Let's carry on. So I'm a jolly good Santa. I've got the Santa beard on today. I definitely need to give my beard a trim. It's getting a bit out of control again. So we shall see. Hopefully in the videos in the new year it will be a bit shorter. I was actually watching a YouTube tutorial earlier on how to trim your beard evenly. I don't know if there are any people with beards out there. It looks like sweet Nigel B might have a beard. It's really difficult to trim your own beard, I find, and get it symmetrical. And it's even worse for me because one of my eyes is like worse than the other one, if that makes sense. And when I'm wearing glasses, like trying to look in the mirror, you're looking like round your glasses. So I find it really difficult to get my beard symmetrical. Right, moving on. A bit of a digression there. So Johnny Arrows, I can't stay to read, but wishing us all a Merry Christmas. So, yep, Merry Christmas to you too, Johnny, if you're still on. Pokraj had a very healthy breakfast, which is good. How early does Christmas start for you? For me, it gets later and later every year. So now my daughter is 17. Christmas is much less of a big deal than it was, like 10 years ago. So I really only started thinking about Christmas about a week ago. I'm terrible. I did manage to get all of my presents bought and things like that. Not that there were that many I needed to buy this year, but yeah, I have Christmas. Yeah, Christmas is much less of an event in our household than it used to be. Another comment from Poker. Speaking of Evil Fungus, I haven't seen the trailer for Cold Storage yet, but I have read the book. I read it when it came out a few years ago. In fact, I think I had an advanced copy of it on NetGalley, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I am looking forward to seeing the movie. We've got someone else from Australia. So Wendy in Queensland. Merry Christmas, Wendy. Oh, we've got someone in Shanghai as well. Oh, hello. So it's Carl. Hello, Carl. Thanks for joining us. I guess this is a better time of day. I feel like I've been a bit mean to the Americans by doing it at this time of the day, because it's the middle of the night. It's between, what would it be, between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. in the States. But good to see some people from other parts of the world. Someone else from Australia, Erin. Merry Christmas, Erin. Elizabeth Gilbert, I think he's one of those authors I've always meant to read, but have not yet. Pokrash also has a worse eye. Yes, I imagine it's very difficult to get symmetrical eyeliner on, but yes, not a problem I have. Although I think I did briefly try eyeliner in my goth phase when I was in my mid-teens. So 5:30 p.m. in China, says Carl. Pat, hello, Pat. Merry Christmas. Yeah, just drop. You probably need to go back to bed and have a bit more of a rest before your Christmas starts properly. But lovely to see you, Pat. If people don't subscribe, so I'm trying to think who I know is booktubers. So Carl and Pat are both booktubers. If you don't subscribe to them already, both fantastic channels, so do check them out. Right, let's do some reading then. So let me find hold on, we've got one more Merry Christmas message. So Merry Christmas from Yorkshire. Reading All the Colours of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. People keep on recommending that to me. I do have a digital copy of it, but I haven't read it yet. Oh, and Mike's here as well. Merry Christmas, Mike. Oh, another Australia. So we've got Greg in Australia as well. Pokraj saying he can see me as a guyliner icon. I'm definitely not going to start wearing wearing eyeliner. Right, so what I'm going to do, if I can, I've got two laptops running because I've got like the stream running off my laptop I use for editing, and then I've got this older one here which I'm using to do the comments. So I just need to figure out if I can share a timer. Sorry, you can tell I haven't prepared very well. So I usually just go into one of these Pomodoro sites. So let's do, how do I change the time? So let's do a 20-minute sprint. Right, let me see if I can share this in the stream. Present, share screen. Has that worked? It has. Fantastic. Right, I'm going to start the sprint now. I'm reading a very festive book. I'm reading Coma by Robin Cook, which I'm not sure if I'm enjoying this or not yet. I'm almost a third of the way in, and it feels like it hasn't, like the main part of the story hasn't really started yet. There's a couple of people in comas already, but it feels like it needs to kick into people investigating why they're in comas. So I shall be reading this. I've got a cup of tea, which has been getting a bit cold actually while I've been talking, and I've got a mince pie as well. Hopefully people have got some festive food and drinks to munch on while we read. So I will start the I'll start the sprint now. I'll go on mute, and then I will come back at the end of the 20 minutes, and we can have a bit of a chat and see how we're doing. Oh, hold on. Right, I'll come back to comments in a bit. Let's start the. Oh, I've got too many. I've got too many screens going on. Right, start. Okay, I'm going to go on mute, and I will catch you all again in 20 minutes. Okay, we are back. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me take my glasses off so I can see things properly. Right. How did everyone get on? I've been so Coma. Let me know if you can hear me in the comments, by the way. Coma has really picked up now, actually. So it's got into the investigation part where the plucky young female medical student has realised that there's a very high incidence of people having comas at this hospital. And it's really cool. It's even got like little charts and things like that. Is that going to focus? Yeah. So little charts. And there was also a great bit where she was reading handwritten reports that have been written by different doctors. Thank you, Mike, for confirming you can hear me. By different doctors. And there are parts of it where, because they've got doctors' handwriting, she can't read what they've written. So I don't know if there are clues buried in those parts that will end up coming back later on in their book. So let's go through some comments and see how everyone is doing. Where did I get up to? Here we go. So Cyprian is reading The Terror. Yeah, a fantastic book. I read that. I reviewed that fairly early on in the life of the channel, I think, and really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, I flew through that book. Really atmospheric and just fantastically well done. The Knitting Book Nerd says, hello and Merry Christmas from Germany. Just made myself some tea. Fantastic. Yeah, I enjoyed my cup of tea during that sprint. Geeks Loves Dogs. Hello, Paul. Good morning to you too. Oh, Greg, thank you very much. Yes, so a while ago I made a video about First Blood, not realizing that David Morrell, the author, is really active on like Facebook and is like really good at talking to his readers and fans. And Greg sent him the link to my video, which he watched, and David Morrell then reached out to me, and we had a really nice chat over email about how he'd written the book and things like that. So it's really nice when you get to interact with an author whose work you really, really admire, and it's something that I feel kind of blessed to be able to do through having the channel. So yeah, thank you for that, Greg. It was great to catch up with David over email. Carl is reading Roadside Picnic, which is a fantastic book. I haven't read that for years, but I remember really, really enjoying it. I think I read it for a book club at work. Actually, I used to be part of a book club at work, and I think that's one of the books we read for that. But yeah, I remember it being a really, really interesting sci-fi novel. Merry Christmas from Ohio. Hope it's not too. I've got no idea where Ohio is geographically. Is it kind of in the middle? So I'm guessing it's very, very early in the morning where you are. So thank you for joining. We've got someone from Arkansas. Oh, it's Ida. Hello, Ida. So Ida is one of my patrons. Hello, Ida, coming to us from Arkansas, or Arkansas, as I used to call it when I was a kid. Poke Roger's mum has made chocolate cake today. That sounds very nice. Yeah, with sweetened cold brew coffee. Okay, that does sound very good. Wendy is doing a Christmas Columbine number online. I'm just going to be reading Sister-in-Law by Pamela Grain and Texas Christmas Cover-Up by Terry Reid. Texas Christmas Cover-Up sounds like it might be a Mills and Boon / Harlequin book. That's certainly got a title like some of them have, so that sounds good. Mike is reading The Dark Side by Anthony O'Neill, a sci-fi mystery crime thriller. I haven't heard of that, but that does sound like an interesting blend. Apollonius Beltzman is reading Deluge by Mark Lee. Civilian says, good Yule, everyone. Wendy says, it's beautiful reading weather here tonight. After 37 to 40 degrees Celsius temperatures the last couple of weeks, it's finally cooler, 26 degrees and raining. I have no idea how hot 37 to 40 degrees is. Oh, Celsius. Crikey, that is hot. That's ridiculously hot. I can't even imagine that. I think the hottest I've been when on holiday, and when you're on holiday, it's not so bad, is it? It's like mid-30s. So 40 degrees just sounds horrific. So yeah, glad it's cooled down for you a little bit, Wendy. Apollonius is against Christmas, which is fair enough. You're entitled to be against Christmas. Cozy Books with Dogs. It's cooking pancakes and reading Devil's Delight and Agatha Raisin Cozy Mystery. Okay, I haven't read that one. I've been gradually working my way through those. MJ is here. Hello, MJ. Good morning to you. 5 a.m. Oh, for Paul, you're at work. I'm very sorry to hear that, Paul. People may have missed it, but I said at the start of the sprint, my wife is at work today. So we celebrated Christmas yesterday. So yeah, she works in a home for people with dementia. So she doesn't necessarily get days off at Christmas. It all depends on her rota. So this year she's working today and tomorrow. So she's gone off to work this morning dressed as an elf, which was rather amusing. So Cyprian's got through 13 pages of the Terror. Good stuff. I'm struggling with names again. Merger Castron is reading The Third Rule of Time Travel by Philip Fracassi. I've yet to read any of his books, but I keep hearing really good things about it. Dan Thrifted Books. I like Coma, but a little bit uneven. Not sure if everything Cook sets up early ends up mattering later. Yeah, I found the prose of it quite noticeable at times. My favorite kind of prose is the kind of prose you don't even notice. And I found some of his prose I notice, which is gets him a thumbs down. But generally speaking, I am really enjoying it. And as I say, it's really kind of got into it. It's got into like the proper plot now. Pat is reading Golden Age Christmas Mysteries, edited by Otto Penzler. That sounds a fantastic choice for this time of year. And Penzler is always a fantastic editor, so I'm sure that is great. Wendy's confirmed that yes, whatever it was called, Texas Christmas Cover Up is a romantic suspense from Mills and Boon. Mark is saying he said calling it Arkansas is actually illegal if you're in Arkansas. Not sure if it's an urban legend though. My and this will date me. So my reason for even trying to say the word Arkansas was I used to be a fan in my teens of the country music singer or folk. I suppose she's more of a folk singer actually, Michelle Shocked, and her third or fourth album I think was called Arkansas Traveler. And I pronounced it Arkansas Traveller, and then was then told off by my dad, who corrected my pronunciation. We got Ant-Man in Dublin. How come you never cover any of the CJ Box books? I've never read any of the CJ Box books. I would have to check. I feel like I might have picked up some in like a Kindle Daily Deal or something at some point. But yeah, I've never read them. And that, I think, is one of the problems with crime fiction at the moment in particular, is there's just so much of it. There are so many authors writing series that end up being quite long that it's really difficult to cover all of them. And there are a number of series that I really, really want to get back to that I've kind of started, like the Rebus books by Ian Rankin and the Kenzie and Gennaro books by, I'm blanking on the author's name now. Someone will let me know what it is in the comments. But yeah, there's just too many crime books for me to read all of them. But I will pick one of those up once I'm off the Read What You Own challenge if I see one cheap. M Lynch, Merry Christmas, Ollie. Well, Merry Christmas to me and to everyone. Can't believe you didn't do a Christmas Ollie rebrand of the channel for the day. I have done Crimin Jolly, I think, in the past, rather than Crimin Ollie. So M Lynch is reading Venetian Vespers by John Banville. I've heard of John Banville, but haven't read any of his stuff. Merry Christmas from Teague Island, from I'm going to struggle with this name. Rehoboth Beach in Delaware. Hello, Delaware. MJ is reading A Deadly Christmas, Sweet Valley High, book 111. I don't have that one, but it sounds fantastic. I might have to pick it up. Laurie Miller, greetings from Indiana, reading The List of Suspicious Things by Jenny Godfrey. Speaking of the Terror, my daughter and I are going to buddy read it starting in January. I buddy read it actually, and I'm trying to remember now who I buddy read it with. It was another booktuber, and I'm blanking on the name of the channel, but a quite like well-established horror booktuber. And I did my terrible normal thing that I sometimes, well, I've got better at it, but that I used to do when I'm doing buddy reads is, which I just like just shot through the book. I read it, I think, in a couple of days, and left him in the dust, which was very rude of me. Wendy says, well, with your wife, I worked in aged care. I go to people's place to clean and other things. Some of my clients have early dementia. Yeah, really, very sad, very terrible affliction, dementia. So I think it's fantastic that she does that for a job. I think would struggle to do it, but she really, really enjoys it. What she does in particular is like organize activities for the residents. So things to keep their brains working and to keep them active and happy. Pat has a CJ box book under her Christmas tree. Crazy Book Lady says, good morning from the Netherlands. Visiting my mum later today to watch a movie and eat a Christmas dinner. Reading a Dutch book, so I'll stay trying to pronounce the title. Thank you. That is appreciated. Poker suggesting my festive code name should be Jolly Cracker. We've got Merry Christmas from Yellow Blam. And Zivelin is going to be continuing the library at Hellebore. Right, I think I've got through all the comments. So let's do another 20-minute sprint, and then we'll see how we feel after that. We'll see if if people fancy doing another one or not. How many people have got on? 41 people, so we've got a decent number of people on. Yes, so let me try and remember how to do the thing I did a few minutes ago and start another thing. So let's share that tab. How did I do that? Present. Share screen. Here we go. Okay, back to our books, everyone. I will catch up with you again in 20 minutes. Okay, we're back. I forgot where I was supposed to look for a minute there. Hopefully everyone enjoyed a bit more reading time there. I've read a fair bit more of Coma and I am enjoying it, although Robin Cook's habit of describing the female character's body quite frequently is reminding me, not in a good way, of Richard Lehman. There are many bits where other characters like think to themselves, "Gosh, she's really attractive," which seems a little bit unnecessary, but it's a good book aside from that. Right, let's go through some comments. There was a strange comment that popped up in all caps during that, which I deleted and banned the commenter. Where did I get to? I think I got to here. So Paul is reading the first White Squaw book, Sue Wildfire, for the channel while waiting for Fungus to come in from the library. Sounds good. Winterlind suggests that Americans should be sleeping. I would agree with that, although I am myself an early riser, so I was up at like 5:40 this morning, so it's certainly after 5:40. Oh, or is it? No, it's around 5:40 in some parts of the States now, isn't it? Jim is here. Hello, Jim. Happy reading to you too, and happy Christmas. Gabrielle is here from Victoria in Australia. Happy Christmas, Victoria. Victoria, Gabriella. Hope you've had a nice day. Dave Carmichael asked what we're doing. So I did explain that at the start, and I did put a comment in as well. So basically the idea of reading sprints is we read together for 20 minutes or so. Everyone just reads whatever they're reading, and then we get back together again like this to have a bit of a chat, and to I'll go through comments and things like that. Lewis is here. Hello, Lewis. Lewis has been a viewer of the channel for a very, very long time, since the very early days. So great to have you here, Lewis. So Lewis got some Richard Lehman, some Sean Hudson, and some Jeffrey Deaver for Christmas. That's a fantastic little haul. Question from Finor. Have you read any Nietzsche? If that's to me, I have not read any Nietzsche. In fact, I haven't really read any philosophy, I don't think. I read like politics books sometimes in terms of non-fiction, but I've never read any philosophy, and certainly never read any Nietzsche. Merry Christmas from Wade. Yes, agrees that Americans should be sleeping. So quarter of the way through The Children of Men by P.D. James. I thought that was a fantastic book. And the thing, and I have said this on the channel, I think in the past, is I think it's a really great book, and I think it's a really great film, but they're completely different from each other. They've got like the same concept, but the tone in particular of the movie versus the book couldn't be more different. But I think they're both absolutely phenomenal. MJ confirming that she is an early bird every day. Have Croxwell Walk wishing us a Merry Christmas. So if you're still here, Merry Christmas to you too. Jim is reading Cold Bones by Kathy Reichs. Have I read Kathy Reichs? I feel like I might have read the first book in the Bones. Oh, in fact, I definitely have. I've read the first Bones book, and I've got a bunch of them that I got in a Kindle deal, I think. So maybe I should go back. I did watch a few episodes of the TV show as well, which I seem to remember quite enjoying. Gareth has popped in. Hello, Gareth. Merry Christmas to you too, if you are still here. Hope you have a lovely day too. Pokebrad taking his time getting to his cake. Another question from Venor. Favorite fantasist? If we mean fantasy author, I'm not a big fantasy reader. I used to read a lot more fantasy when I was a teenager. I think the one I still go back to and still really enjoy when I read him is Michael Moorcock. I think there's just something about the Elric books in particular, and the way he does world building in those books, which just works for me. I quite often find the world building elements of fantasy novels a bit too much, But I think the Elric books, particularly because they really just kind of focus around the character and everything else comes from that. I think that those really work well for me. So I do, and they're a lot shorter than most fantasy books as well. I do have some fantasy next to me here actually, which I'm going to be reading soon. But yeah, I'm not typically a big fantasy reader. Cyprian has read some more of The Terror. Still really enjoying it. Fina agrees that it's a fantastic book. Carl has got into chapter 2 of Roadside Picnic. Jim sends season greetings from Georgia, where Christmas is on the 7th of January. My daughter did ask the other day, which was a completely reasonable question, but it was a question that had never occurred to me, is if the Christian calendar starts from the birth of Christ in the year 0, then why is Christmas not on the 1st of January, which would kind of make more sense. So yes. Mark confirming that The Fungus is 100% my sort of thing. I definitely need to track down a copy then. I have always meant to read it. I can't, because Harry Adam Knight isn't the author's real name, but I think he was an American, wasn't he? I can't remember what his name is. Lewis has also recently got the Beast House trilogy and After Midnight. The Beast House books, particularly the first one, The Cellar, which was one of the first Richard Lehman books I read, is absolutely fantastic. It is such an over-the-top, crazy, disgusting, disturbing book. But it's just so wild. It's great. He puts everything in it. Fenor is reading the rest of Jack Vance's Alastor books. Jack Vance is an author I can never remember if I've read or not. I definitely have owned Jack Vance books in the past, but I can't remember. I can't remember if I've read any of them or not. Jeff from Jeff's Caves of Cool Books, just saying hi and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Jeff, if you haven't had to drop off. Poker Edge watched the adaptation of An Unsuitable Job for a Woman. That's one of the, is that one of the Dalgleish books? I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I've got it, but I haven't read it. Serenity says hello from Texas, where it's 4:30 a.m. Hopefully you are waking up, if not properly awake yet. Serenity. Mike's dog wakes up at 4:30 every day, and since he runs things around here, he has to get up then as well. Yeah, dogs seem like a lot of work. We did have a dog. I had a couple of dogs actually when I was a kid, when I was growing up, and I quite enjoyed walking the dogs back then. But nowadays, when I've got a full-time job and YouTube to do as well, I think that having a dog would be too much. So I'm quite happy with Venus the cat. This is an interesting question from Vino. So, do you see reading as a purely escapist endeavor or something more utilitarian? I see it as, I think it can be either, and maybe it can in some instances be both, but generally I think it's one or the other. And I am probably 95% escapist, 5% utilitarian. I think, clearly books can be hugely informative and useful and important and helpful and all of those things, and certainly I've read many books that have been very personally important to me, have taught me things and so on and so forth, but I mostly read for fun, as people who watch the channel will probably appreciate. Jimmy's confirming that Coco Bones is the 21st of the books in the series. And Kathy writes is like Patricia Cornwell with more humour. Yeah, Patricia Cornwell, who I have read a fair few books by. I used to really like her books when I was in my kind of late teens, early 20s. Is definitely not a very humorous author, and seems not a very humorous person either from the interviews I've seen with her. Pokerose remembers Bones because I drank every syllable they spoke on that. Learned a lot about the skeletal system from them. I can imagine that would be the case. Crazy Book Lady read 15 minutes in 20 pages. That sounds quite an interesting book. So a middle grade YA book about deaf teenagers. Belle, Merry Christmas from Poland. Merry Christmas, Belle. Reading Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I haven't read any Frida McFadden yet, but I have. She's one of those authors who I kind of mean to, just because she's so big. Finor, check out Gene Wolfe. I have read Gene Wolfe. So I have read the first 3 books in the, I don't know what the series, oh, what's it called? The Book of the New Sun. I read them back when I was a teenager. I really, really love them, and have been meaning to like read that series, like reread the first few books and finish the series. I think there's 4 in total, and I think I've got books 1, 2, and 4, but not book 3. So I need to pick up book 3, and then I am going to read them. And I've got a book that someone very kindly sent me a while ago called Peace, I think, by Gene Wolfe as well, which I haven't read yet, but which is supposed to be very good indeed. Tom Mark says, Happy Christmas. 2026 will be amazing. Let's hope it is. 2025 has been a challenging year in some ways, hasn't it? All around the world, I think. So hopefully we will have a better year, all of us, in 2026. Poke Roger about my comment about Christmas. Yeah, I think it probably is just the year and not the date. I think you are right. Not Dalglish, Cordelia Gray. I think I've got a few of the Cordelia Gray books as well. Almost midday in Germany. Yeah, so it's, I guess you're an hour ahead of us. So it's 10:44 here. Oh, Klaus is here. Hello, Klaus. So if people haven't read Klaus's book, I can never remember the title. I always want to give it more words. Eternal Flower of Your Soul, which I talked about in my top 10 horror books of the year. It is absolutely horrible, but very, very well written and definitely worth reading. So Klaus is reading the latest Christopher Triana book. I have not had the best of luck with Christopher Triana. I read Gone to See the Riverman, which actually I quite liked, but then I read Full Brutal, which I didn't like. I didn't like nearly as much. Pokerudge's dog is very, very naughty and doesn't listen to anyone. I think that seems to be quite common with dogs. My in-laws have a dog that is very, very naughty, and just refuses to be trained. Pokerudge read one novel in Tess Gerritsen Rizzoli and R series. I think I read a few of those as well back in the day. Jim is suggesting that The Housemaid, Never Lie, or Ward D are the ones to try for Frida McFadden. So thank you, Jim. I will look out for those. Popcorn thrillers are definitely my jam sometimes. Virtues of Books says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. Oh, I've offended Watson by my comment about dogs being naughty. Sorry, Watson. Serenity just started The Master and Margarita a couple of days ago. I had a copy of The Master and Margarita, which I bought, I think, when I was a teenager, and was trying to read clever books, and thought that I would try reading it, and then never did. So yes. We got Tim from the other Georgia, so Georgia in the US. Thank you for your kind words about my videos. Glad you're enjoying them. Love that I'm an 87th Precinct fan. I am. I was considering reading. Where is it? Where's my copy of it? Oh, I can't quite reach it. I was considering reading McBain's Christmas 87th short story and All Through the Night for the reading sprints today, but I decided not to. But yeah, he is the absolute best. Crikey, that does sound like bad traffic. It would have been much quicker to walk, I suspect, wouldn't it, if it took 2 hours? Right, what does everyone think? Do people want to do one more sprint and then call it a day? Shout in the comments. Give me a Y or an N in the comments. You're right, that does sound like an AI prompt. Yeah, nobody please put that into ChatGPT or anything like that. Yeah, should we do another sprint? I'm going to see if anyone comments. I can't decide if I should go and make myself another cup of tea. Okay, so we got some yeses. Right, let's do one more then. Right, so one more 20-minute sprint then. Let me let me reset the timer and share the timer. Oh, I'm doing it all wrong. Pomodoro, there we go. Present. Oh, clicked completely the wrong button. Right, here we go. So share that and start the timer, and I will catch you again in 20. Okay, that is the final sprint done then. So hopefully everybody got some good reading done in that. I read a bit more of Coma, and it got really exciting. Actually, there was some peril introduced. So yeah, it was quite a fun section of the book. So I'm probably going to try and get this finished this evening, I think, or maybe this afternoon. Yeah, I think I can probably wrap this one up today. But yeah, it's an interesting and enjoyable read. What's everyone else been reading? Has anyone joined and not told us what they were reading yet? Let's go through and see what comments we've got before I wrap things up. So Wendy wants to read her dad's Commando comics, but they're packed away. Oh, that's a shame. So most of her books in storage. That is a shame. I've read 2 Commando comics. Did I read 2? No, 1 Commando comic this morning and 1 yesterday, but they were both a lot of fun. Also recommending Graham Marston. Yeah, Graham Marston's really good, and one of those authors who's just still good. So they've been going since the 70s, I think, and still publishing decent horror fiction now. I think he's a really good writer. Some of his stuff is like super pulpy, but in a really enjoyable way. Poke Crunchers had his cake. Fantastic news. When you point out, Kathy Reichs is a former forensic anthropologist, indeed. So yeah, and that comes across from what I remember in the books. She clearly knows her stuff. Dan is reading Edge number 13. Fantastic. Hope you're enjoying it. Have you read them all in order? Have you been working your way through the series, or been picking them randomly? And Crazy Book Lady managed 19 pages, so that's good. Right, let us wrap things up then. I need to go and have a cup of coffee and maybe another mince pie as well, I think, before starting to think about getting stuff ready for lunch. My daughter and I are going to be watching a couple of movies this afternoon. So we're going to watch Black Christmas, the 1970s Christmas slasher movie, which I saw a couple of years ago and really enjoyed. So she was quite keen to see that. So we're going to watch that. And then we're going to pick, almost at random, a film from the many films that are available on places like Tubi and Amazon Prime that are very low budget, trashy looking Christmas movies involving animals. So we're going to either watch one with kittens or one with puppies. We haven't decided which yet. And there's also on Amazon Prime over here in the UK, they've got a Christmas Benji movie from the 1970s, which is only a short one. It's like 25 minutes long or something like that. So we might watch that as well. Right, I'm going to call it a day there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you got some good reading done, and hope you have a fantastic Christmas Day if Christmas Day is still ahead of you, or have had a fantastic Christmas Day if, like many of the people here, you are in Australia or somewhere on that side of the what am I trying to say? Is it latitude or longitude? Somewhere where it's the evening. So yeah, fantastic to have had you all here. Thank you for your support of the channel throughout the year 2026. As I said in actually that video hasn't gone up yet. So I have made a 2025 reflections 2026 plans video, and my plans for 2026 are basically more of the same. So if you've enjoyed it in 25, hopefully you will continue to do so in 26. So a huge thanks to everyone for joining. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch you all again soon. Bye.